I found myself in a most curious position, seated in the morning room of a quiet house in Oxford, far from the fog of Baker Street. Before me sat a gentleman of a somewhat formal clerical air, Mr. Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, known to the world of letters as Lewis Carroll, and beside him a young lady of some 10 years, Miss Alice Liddell, whose dark hair and bright, expectant eyes seemed to hold a world of secrets. "It is a pleasure, Mr. Dodgson, Miss Alice," I began, resting my notebook on my knee. As a man of medicine and a chronicler of facts, I find myself drawn to the fantastic nature of your Wonderland. Yet I am told it all began not in a dream, but upon the very river I know so well. The golden afternoon, July 4th, 1862. Mr. Dodgson, the public is enamored with the tale of your rowing expedition. Could you, for our listeners, map the coordinates of that golden afternoon? Where did the oars first hit the water, and where did this odyssey of the mind conclude?
It was a day of cloudless blue. Though some records might dispute the weather, the memory remains golden. We set out from Folly Bridge in Oxford. I was at the oars, along with my friend Mr. Duckworth. Miss Alice here and her sisters, Lorena and Edith, were our most demanding passengers.
It was a very long way, Dr. Watson. We rode all the way to Godstow. I remember the heat was quite pressing, and we sought the shade of a haycock for our tea. But the rowing wasn't the best part. It was the story. I kept begging, "Tell us a story, please, Mr. Dodgson."
Indeed, "Tell us a story" was the chorus. I began then and there, sending a Victorian child down a rabbit hole, not knowing I should ever have to find the way out myself. We did not return until late, mooring the boat once more at the bridge, the sun setting on what felt like a new world.
And you, Miss Alice, I understand you were not content to let the story vanish with the ripples of the Thames.
Oh, no, it was too good to lose. I made Mr. Dodgson promise to write it down for me. I teased him for months until he finally gave me that lovely green book, Alice's Adventures Underground, with his own drawings in it.
My friend Mr. Holmes often observes that the most bizarre occurrences usually lead to a logical core. Mr. Dodgson, your characters, the Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, they seem to defy all logic, yet they feel remarkably familiar. Were they drawn from the life you lead here at Christchurch?
Logic is a wonderful game, Doctor, but it must be played with the right pieces. The Mad Hatter, perhaps, owes a debt to a certain Mr. Theophilus Carter, a furniture dealer in Oxford, known for his eccentric top hat and his inventions, including an alarm clock bed that tipped the sleeper out.
A most Holmesian contraption. And the Cheshire Cat?
There are many legends of cats in the county of Cheshire, where I was born, grinning at the excellence of the local cheese. Or perhaps it is simply that a cat may look at a king, but a grin may exist without the cat.
And the Queen of Hearts, Dr. Watson. She is very much like a cross governess, though much louder. And the Lory and the Eaglet in the story were really just my sisters, Lorena and Edith. Mr. Dodgson even put himself in as the dodo, because when he is nervous, he sometimes says his name as Do Dodgson.
A touch of the self-caricature, I confess. Even the White Knight in the second book, the one through the looking-glass, with his many inventions and his tendency to fall off his horse. Perhaps he is a gentler version of an aging mathematician who fears losing his way in the woods.
It seems, then, that Wonderland is not so much a place far away,
but a mirror held up to our own world, distorted by a very clever lens. As I concluded the interview, Miss Alice was already eyeing a plate of biscuits with a look that suggested she expected them to make her grow tall, while Mr. Dodgson began to show me his latest photographic apparatus. It was clear that while the boat ride had ended years ago, the river of his imagination was still flowing quite strongly.